Thank you. Thank you, Ana. There's something about a hug from Ana Oliveira that makes you feel like you can take over the world. It's pretty fantastic. It's one of the perks of being up here. And I also want to express my deep gratitude to the New York Women's Foundation for the opportunity to speak today, and in solidarity with all my fellow grantee partners, of whom I have the honor of working with. This opportunity to speak and be heard, for me to share something of myself with people who will listen and accept my truth, is something that feels so natural and so human. But we are all painfully aware about how rare that connection actually is, especially when the stakes are high. When we tell the truth about our experiences of sexual violence, that truth is often met with disbelief or disregard or even degradation. I imagine that Tarana Burke could feel the distance between truth tellers and listeners when she started Me Too. I feel that she could see how Black and brown girls and women and transgender and gender nonconforming people were locked in their silence, and she knew that we really needed to see each other and that we needed to hear each other, because when we connect, we create power. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, on the border with Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. Thanks, Texans and Mexicans in the room. That's my jam. In El Paso, there's a mountainside where you can see 2 countries and 3 states and multiple cities and towns. And it is just incredible to be able to see that the border, to see it by yourself, that the border is a lie, that we're all one people on one beautiful, vast landscape. As a queer Chicana and a survivor of intimate partner violence, I've spent all my life deconstructing real and invented borders. And that is how I discovered my own power. My search for others like me led me to the work that I do now. In 2017, I joined the team at the Violence Intervention Program here in New York City. At VIP, we work with Latina survivors of intimate partner and sexual violence, most of whom are immigrant women. They are survivors of a complex intersection of interpersonal and state violence that often starts in a home country where gender-based and gang violence runs rampant. And it continues on a migratory journey where rape is such a foregone conclusion that most of our clients report taking contraception to avoid becoming pregnant by it. Once they arrive in the United States, their lives are either subjected to a violent immigration system, or they have the opportunity to try to create a life in the shadows for themselves and their families. Their stories of intimate partner violence and sexual assault are often never told. Because VIP is an organization that was founded by and for Latinx survivors, we are a trusted community presence, which gives us the responsibility and the great privilege to support survivors who may otherwise never disclose their stories. It all starts with the courage to speak what feels like the unspeakable. The Violence Intervention Program runs a 24/7 bilingual hotline where callers connect to a compassionate voice that goes over all the options that might be and connects them for ongoing support. And that ongoing support looks like advocacy within US-based systems that feel like a complete mystery, let's face it, for most of us, and especially for immigrants. At VIP, we're cultural interpreters of those systems, helping people connect to find refuge at our shelters and our transitional housing programs, to access benefits, to be able to connect to legal representation, and to begin a healing process. But we know that those basic services are not always going to translate into long-term stability. We have learned that the linchpin for liberation is economic justice. And so we help our clients to obtain that justice by helping them to build small businesses in a solidarity economy process so that they can support one another as they build their own economic security. And I am incredibly proud to announce that in next spring, the VIP will be launching its first ever workers' cooperative. Thanks. Thank you. And it will be exclusively owned and operated by Latina immigrant survivors of intimate partner and sexual violence. All of our work is in support of the healing journey of all survivors. Every single achievement and every single success we have is generated by the power that they created when they risked being seen and when they dared to tell their stories. And that power is growing. Thanks to the Me Too Fund, Latina survivors will engage in a digital storytelling practice that uses multimedia tools to tell about their experiences. It will familiarize our clients with technology that they never even knew existed and connect them to communities of survivors that they may never otherwise have met. And most importantly, this is their chance to tell their story for themselves and for one another, and not to judges, not to prosecutors, not for immigration officials, and not for police. It's their story being told for their healing and their empowerment. So please accept my deep gratitude to you for funding and supporting the New York Women's Foundation and investing in the power of our unity and the work of the Violence Intervention Program. Across communities, we are linking our strength, enriched by the brilliance of our own cultural wisdom, led by the brightness of our ferocity, and uplifted by the boundless abundance of our resilience. And I invite you to join us and to witness our courage. Thank you.